Good morning, class. Our topic this morning is about public communication. Now, when we talk of public communication, how is it um, different from mass communication? Okay, so that's we will find out in this presentation. Public communication. So this is the transmission of a message from a single sender to numerous receivers. So we have discussed already the type or mode of delivery, right? So we have impromptu delivery. So this is where in which you will deliver a speech without preparation. So no notes or formal preparation. It is spontaneous and informal in nature. So what are the pros for this kind of or mode of delivery? So this is less formal, more conversational. It allows for quick and creative thinking, and it should have a good practice. Cons. Okay, so lack of preparation available. It could know nothing about the topic. So I myself, I do not like impromptu speech because I am not a spontaneous person. Okay, so example of an impromptu delivery is making an exchange at the store. So kanang miss or pageant Q&A, room full of strangers at the wedding reception. So and get asked an anticipated question, or it could be you are called in the class to recite, or a job interview. Although in job interview, you of course you have practice yourself. Like there are questions um, that could be asked, so maka-practice mo na. But other than that, you don't know what will be the questions asked in the interview. So it can still be considered an impromptu delivery.
Next is we have manuscript delivery. So, sa tuning manuscript delivery, so this is when the entire speech is read from a script. So, kanang naa kay script nga basahon. So, unsa may pros ani nga type or mode of delivery. So, it has high accuracy in wording and content, and it gives sense of security, of course, because sense of security kay dili ka mahadlok masayop because you have a script. What about the disadvantage or the con? So it could have a lack of eye contact. It can sound mechanical or cold. It can reduce your engagement with the audience and can struggle if you lose place on page. So mao ni siya danger sa manuscript delivery. Kay busy kag basa sa imong script, no? So makalimot ka to make eye contact with your audience, which is very much important when you give a speech. Then it can reduce your engagement with the audience because again you are busy reading your script. And pag nawala ka sa page, no, labi there are people who write their speeches without page in their paper. So maglilibog ka asa na ka, no? Example of this type or mode of delivery is or are political speeches, proclamations, dedications, work presentations, and eulogies. Although there are eulogy that are impromptu also, but mostly na sila script because the one who are requested to give a eulogy, they are most likely requested beforehand.
Then we have memorized delivery. Okay, so delivery of a speech that has been memorized beforehand. So unsa man po'y pros ani or unsa may advantage? Ability to practice and make points beforehand and can make eye contact because wala naman kay script nga ginalantaw. Memorize naman nimo. However, if you are afraid po nyo makalimot ka sa imong memorize, dili na gyapon ka makamake og eye contact because your mind is busy kung unsay sunod, no, sa imong isulti. What about the disadvantage? So it can sound mechanical and fake, and then forgetting a part of the speech can cause you to get frazzled. So mo na usahay nga diba, kakuan mo kung mag-memorize mo and then makalimot mo og usa ka article, for example is or are, balikon yun ninyo ang tibuok, ang first nga paragraph or ang first nga statement para makahinumdum mo. No, that is the disadvantage in memorized delivery. Example of this are poetry slams, plays, in stand-up comics. Gawas lang anang mga stand-up comedians ng mga witty kaayo. So, dili na necessary. Dali ra sila maka-improvise or makahatag og ad-lib.
Okay, another mode of delivery is extemporaneous delivery. So, unsa to ning extemporaneous? So, this is a speech that has been planned and researched ahead of time. It is different from our kanang atong nailhan or atong na hibawan nga extempo nga delivery, no? So, again, this is a speech that has been planned and researched ahead of time. So, nakay time to research the topic nga imong i-deliver. What are the disadvantage for this mode of delivery? It allows for good eye contact, of course, because it is assumed that you already is familiar or kabalo na ka sa topic, so it can give you ample time or to allow you for eye good contact. It lets you research points beforehand and practice, but have a conversational delivery, and then lets your personality shine through. So, muna siya advantage sa extempo. Ang disadvantage is note cards can be used improperly. Delivery depends on good practice, of course. Kung wala kay practice, no, so maupod na ang disadvantage. Examples of this extemporaneous delivery are class lectures, work meetings, homilies, and presentations. Okay. Now, let's move on to preparations for public speaking. Kaya kinsa naman diri sa inyo ang naka-try og public speech, no, or deliver a speech publicly. So how did you do it? Do you have outlines with your works, or naabot mo yung mga practices nga gibuhat before mo ni deliver sa speech? Okay, so speaking in public may be challenging, but you can prepare for it. No, challenging gyud kayo ang mo speak of public, especially those people nga naay phobia og daghang tao. Now, there are guidelines to consider in speaking in public. First, decide on an interesting topic to discuss. Determine your audience and purpose. Know the time and place to deliver your speech. Then focus and organize your ideas logically. So naatay structure ani or pattern ani, like chronological baka cause and effect, spatial, comparison and contrast, and problem solution. Then find materials for your speech and draft your speech. Okay. Now, before choosing a topic, so mao ni atong mga guidelines, or mao ni atong mga points to take into consideration. What are the guidelines for the speech? Iyon sa may mode of delivery nga imong gamiton. Is it manuscript? Is it memorized? Is it impromptu or extempo? Okay? Then, what type of speech is this? So, unsa man nga klase nga speech ang imong i-deliver? Is it informative, persuasive, etc.? Then, do you need visual aid? Okay, so kinahanglan ba kag presentation or visual aid? Are they allowed, or what types are allowed? So kana sila ang kinahanglan nimong i-take into consideration before choosing a topic. And then what type of research is required? So unsa man, is it um extensive research, no? So kana sila. Then what are the time constraints? So syempre before you deliver a speech, diba na pahibawon gyud ka ana sa um mag-request nimo for delivering the speech. Pila man ka weeks ka before giingnan, or ugma na baka mo deliver mao pa ka giingnan nga uy mo kuan ka ikaw hatag ani nga speech. Okay, so mo matter na siya because ang imong time sa preparation. Okay. Another thing is you have to take note or to mubalik ni siya sa audience, no? Who am I speaking to? So, daba kinahanglan nato ma-determine kinsa nga atong audience. Okay, so like the demographics, no? The audience age, sex, race, religion, income, sexual orientation, educational background, employment status, etc. Now, nga naman kinahanglan man nimong ma-determine. Okay? So, because it is important nga dili ka maka-offend sa imong audience, or that ang imong speech appropriate sa imong audience. No? So, mana siya sa demographics. Then, sa homogeneous groups versus heterogeneous groups. Unsa man na sila? Babae, ra ba na tanan imong um, audience, or lalaki ra tanan, or hetero mix ba ka? Homogeneous audience shares characteristics, while heterogeneous audience does not share characteristics. So mo need po na nato i-take into consideration. Then another thing is the motive. So why is the audience there to hear you speak? Unsa man kay motive aning audience na kung anong mo attend man ni sila. Okay, so mao po na need nimo ma-determine or take into consideration before choosing a topic. Okay, so in coming up with a topic, so you need to brainstorm. So what is brainstorming? So you write down any and all topic ideas that come to mind within a small time frame. Okay, so then you need to have self-inventory. So like, what are your hobbies? What interests you? What do you like? What do you know a lot about? Nga naman nga need man na nimo. Okay, so lisod kaayo class magama og speech nga it does not interest you. Right? Kana kasway na mo nga pasultihon mo and you do not like the topic, lisod kaayo and bukid kayo sa inyong buot mag-research if you or if the topic does not interest you. Okay, so is my topic right for me? So angay ni nato i-question or angay ni mo i-question before ka mag-research or before ka mo come up sa imong topic. Para baka ni nako nga topic nga probably mo ask mo sa inyong self, why me? Invite ka o speaking the engagement, then you will ask yourself, why me? So mo ni siya, is my topic right for me? Okay, why do I want to speak about this? No, so because in choosing a topic, you have to pick something you want to talk about and that you are passionate about, because again, it is very difficult for you to deliver a topic that does not interest you or a topic that you do not like. Okay, again, bukid kay na si imong buot magama sa speech. What do I know about this? So nakapili na kag topic, unsa may akong nahibal-an ani? So you speak about something that you are knowledgeable about and that will give you credibility. Dili ra enough nga research ra, so kinahanglan na kay personal experience, okay, or first-hand experience. Okay. Then, what does my audience know about this? Unsa na kay nahibaw-an sa akong audience ani? Kay para dili na ka, or kung i-discuss man na ni mga topic, at least dili lang taphaw but imong palaluman. No? So are they extremely knowledgeable about the topic or not at all? So mao nang need nimo ma-determine kinsa ang imong audience. Okay, does this topic meet the requirements? Okay, so you have to make sure you can reach your time limit without cutting out important points. Make your speech that is conducive to the type of speech, etc. So that is the purpose why mag-practice ka, no? Ako, when I give a speech, naagid ko time to practice. I record myself and of course, sa recording naman ay time. So, kung mulapas ka sa time, then you have to go over your speech unsa ang need nimo i-delete without cutting out important points. No? Munang naiuban mulapas gid sa time limit because kung imong putlo ng imong speech, mawala man ang substance sa speech. Okay? Kana. Eye contact. Okay, so good eye contact helps you engage the audience, display confidence, and ease tensions. Okay, so it is important that when you deliver a speech, you have to establish eye contact with your audience. Okay, dili nga ang inyong mata na as ubos or ang inyong mata na as ibabaw. Okay, kay mahadlok ka mo lantaw sa imong audience. So, again, as a speaker, as a public speaker, you need to establish eye contact. Okay, so let's talk about eye contact tips. So, you have to see your audience. Okay, be sure to actually look and make eye contact with individuals in your audience. So, look at their facial expressions for reactions to what you're saying. No, usahay po ba makadistract na siya kay niglantaw ni mo, nagmugtok man imong audience, wa siguro na siya ganahay sa mabother na ka as a speaker. Okay, shrink the room. What does it mean? So you imagine that the room is really quite small and you're having a conversation with just one person. Okay, not only will your presentation take a conversational note, but you'll find yourself less nervous. So imagine na nimo nga I'm just talking to one person. Okay, so ana lang. Then find out how long it takes to make genuine eye contact. So you practice your presentation with a group of friends. You ask them to indicate when they feel you have made an eye connection with them. Or pwede ka mag-practice sa mirror. Okay. Then move to another person at an appropriate time. Okay, so typically you'll find that it takes about a sentence to make a genuine eye contact. Dili pud nga paspas ra kaayo, no, nga karon nilantaw ka sa usa ka person and then inig sunod nga word lantaw na kanang luha kay mata ba, so dili. No, it's a great idea to move from person to person, making eye contact with each changing sentence, so na siya impact. No, dili pa dapat mo linger ang imong eye contact sa imong usa ra ka audience kay lahi na pud na kung siya ra ang imong ika eye to eye, no. So, kana siya ang need nimo i-take into consideration. Another, we have, you look for the reaction. You look for the presentation participant to nod. If and when they do, you'll know that you have made a connection and that they are processing the information you have presented. So you keep your eyes up at the end. At the end of the sentence, be sure to keep your eyes up, even if it's habit to look down at your notes to see what the next point may be. Wait to look at your notes until you have stopped talking at the end of the sentence, and then look back up to begin your next sentence. Then don't be a lighthouse or a tennis umpire. What does it mean? A lighthouse presenter is predictable. They go around the room in a systematic fashion. Similarly, a tennis umpire looks left, then right, then left, etc. No, so be sure to add variety to your presentation. So yeah, you need to be flexible. Then respect people who are uncomfortable. So it may be obvious to you that a presentation participant is uncomfortable. It may be the topic you're presenting that made them uncomfortable, a differing cultural norm, or something you may have nothing to do with. Kaysa ilara. No? So be respectful by giving them less attention, but of course, do not ignore them. Okay. What are language to avoid in delivering your speech? Okay, so avoid slang. And so manang slang, those are informal words and phrases that are more common in speech than writing and are typically restricted to a particular context or group of people. So example, like fire out, or I can't even, or on fleek, YOLO, frenemy. So kana sila nga mga language. No, but of course, depende po ni siya sa imong audience. So again, balik gyapon ta as to the purpose why we need to determine our audience because ma-matter na sa language nga need nato i-avoid. Another language you have to avoid is jargon. So jargons are special words or expressions that are used by a particular profession or group and are difficult for others to understand. So, again, balik hapon ta sa reason why we need to determine our audience. Of course, if your audience are group of medical persons, so okay ra kay na nimo magamit kag jargon, mga medical terms. Kung ang imong audience are lawyers or probably they have knowledge about the law, so okay ra nga mo gamit kag legal terms. Or ang imong audience are IT people, mga IT specialist, okay ra kayo nga mo gamit kag mga IT terms. Okay? But if your audience are none of those mentioned, so of course, mo nang need ka mag-avoid ana nga mga jargon. Kita ra ba kay mahilig ta mo gama og mga terms, no? Nga kita ray nakasabot. So, again, kinahanglan na nimong i-take into consideration ang imong audience because ma-defeat man ang purpose of you delivering the message or delivering the speech nga wala nakasabot ang imong audience. Okay. You also have to avoid cliche language. Okay, so unsa man ang cliche, so those overused phrase that has lost its originality. Kana example, pen is mightier than the sword. So overused na kay na siya. Then raining cats and dogs. Oh my God, it's raining cats and dogs. Unsam ka? So unsa man ang bot pasabot ana. So katong kusuka yung ulan no. So it sound cliche na. Then paraphrasing. So that is restating an idea in your own words. So you have to avoid that. Okay. When speaking, okay, so we have to take into consideration the articulation. Okay, so what is articulation? It is the production of sounds using our tongue, teeth, and palate properly. The way we deliver a speech mo matter ang atong articulation. Okay, of course, pronunciation. So it is the correct way of saying a word. So dili kami kag mag-rent sa akong module, no? So mo matter na siya in speaking, no? Not just in public speaking, but in speaking in general. Then we have your enunciation. Okay, so enunciation is the marriage of articulation and pronunciation. So it is the clear and correct way to produce sounds and say words. So matter man po na class ang placement sa inyong jaw, no? When you enunciate or when you give or when you pronounce a word. So dapat kaning second year nakaagi ni sa na-discussan ni nako sa theater triangle, no? Katong sound, sound. So kana sila. So matter ang placement sa imong jaw. Okay. So we have 4 P's of vocal variety, dili ng four-piece sa government ha. Okay. So first we have pace. Okay. Speak too fast and it sounds like you're nervous or a used car salesman trying to pull a fast one. If the pace is too slow, you're going to sound like the village idiot. No, so kinahanglan ang imong pacing natural lang. Okay, di ba kung paspas kay ka mosulti, you will sound nervous. Then your pitch. However, kani siya nga pitch class, kung ano siya kay namang gyud mga tao no nga taas, high pitch na. Murag permi mag kuan kanang basta high pitch. Okay, so in this key, okay, you have to pitch your voice too low and nobody will hear you. Speak too high and you sound nervous. Kakuan mo naka kung ano mo kinsay or probably naka encounter na mo mga tao nga high pitch. Okay. But makuan ni siya class, ma-learn ni siya. No, it's a skill. Then we have pauses. Okay, so build them into your speech sparingly. If pauses are too short, it will sound like you're scrambling for words. But a few will time pauses create a sense of intrigue and curiosity. So dili pod mo na uban magamit og mga filler words no inig pause. Kuan mga ingana because filler words sometimes buy you time no kung say sunod nimo isulti. Okay, but you have to build pauses into your speeches sparingly. Then another P or the last P is passion. Okay, so this is all important quality. This all important quality will be the biggest selling point you have. Okay, so you have to love your topic because again, it is very difficult for you to deliver a topic. Okay, that that does not interest you or nga di ka ganahan sa topic. So you have to love your topic.
Okay, let's move on to using notes. Okay, so you outline or you only outline your speech using bullets. Do not put your speech word for word. Okay, so outline ra kato ra mga salient points or salient points sa imong speech ang dapat naa sa imong notes. You use main point. Then you use facts and figures in notes if needed for accuracy. And avoid sounding mechanical. Don't use them as a crutch. Kanang imong notes, dili na nimo crutches. Okay. In presenting yourself. Okay, so the way you dress sets the tone. No? When you deliver a speech publicly, mo matter ang imong physical appearance or ang imong getup. Okay, so if you're wearing jeans, so ang vibe ana is relax. If you're wearing full suit, of course, professional ang vibe ana. Okay, you watch for wearing anything loud or distracting, kanang mga neon colors. Avoid that. Okay, instead nga maminaw ang imong audience, nahinon sila magsilantaw sa imong dress. Okay, then abstain from nervous movements and fidgeting. Okay, so mo man ni kasagaran when you give speech no mag-fidget ka or sa kadiha kay ginervyos ka. So you abstain from that or avoid that unnecessary movement. Okay. Then you have to watch your time. Okay, so keep the attention span of the audience in mind. Leave enough time for a conclusion and do not rumble to meet the time constraint. Again, that is the purpose nganong kinahanglan ka mag-practice sa imong speech para matayman mo imong self. Okay, dili na nga mag-rumble na ka, oy, time na. Makilamo-lamo ang imong speech. Okay. Managing anxiety and delivering your speech. Okay, so you will agree with me that delivering speech again is very challenging. Sometimes maka-nervyos, no? Maka-anxious. Okay, so all great speakers were bad speakers at first. That is according to Ralph Waldo Emerson. Gamay ra siguro na class, may hapra na sa fingers. Kanang mga speakers that are good at first. So, no, mga bad speaker get that first, but it will improve because of practice. Okay, let's discuss qualities of effective speakers. Okay, so ethics, knowledge, preparation, and self-confidence. Let's talk about ethics first. So this is when we should avoid plagiarism. Okay, so we use more than one source for speech. So meaning we use a variety of sources. Avoid using language identical to original author and cite sources prior to quoting a source. Then we should always identify our sources and give credit to originator of ideas. Let's talk about symptoms of speech anxiety. Okay, vocal changes, change atong voice, atong vocal quality. Then fluency problems. So bisag fluent na tayo kay ka, whoever, kay na lisang ka or na-anxious ka din ha. So nagkanga-kanga na naman ka. Dryness in mouth and throat, si nakagpagighap. Tense facial expressions, dili relax, no? Mailihan sa audience nga dili relax ang imong facial expressions. Random gestures, those unnecessary movements nga maka-distract na noon sa imong audience. Body movement, so sige ba kadihag fidget or whatever. And then non-visible symptoms. Okay, so these are mga non-visible symptoms na ma-feel or ma-hear sa atong audience. No, paspas na ka musulti or high pitch na ka, things like that. Okay, what causes speech anxiety? Is it fear or is it genetics? What do you think? Grabe na po kayo kong genius, no? Okay, so fear siguro. Depende sa inyo pag-understand. How are we going to treat speech anxiety? Okay, so first, select a topic you enjoy and know. Again, this is very important that your topic is of your interest. Okay, then be prepared and know your audience. Balik yapon ta sa rationale as to why it is necessary that you will know your audience before you select your topic or you choose your topic. And then be confident. So how do you do this? So kinahanglan ka practice, practice, practice. Then think positively. So dili ka pwede maingon nga I can't do this or dili na ako kaya because I tell you dili jud na imo kaya. Kay imo namang gilimitahan imong self. No, ikaw ray naghatag og limitation sa imong self. Then practice, practice, practice. Okay, additional tips for controlling speech anxiety. Talk with instructors for additional help. Do not give up. Practice relaxation techniques. So that is systematic desensitization. Then realize that everyone feels this way. So meaning you are not alone. Tagsara man siguro ang person nga ma-excited mo hatag og speech in public. Kasagaran, anxious gid na. Okay, so how do you deliver a winning speech? Okay, we can choose an appropriate method. Okay, so again, either impromptu, manuscript, memorize, or extempo. Depende na nimo. Then, how do vocal and physical aspects affect your delivery? Okay, so vocal aspects, vocal quality, vocalic intelligibility, variety, ang rate, ang force, ang pitch, no, sa imong vocal. The physical aspect, okay, so our personal appearance. So once again, will matter na how you present yourself in the public. Body movement, sige ba ka diha fidget, kamahimutang, gesture, so nang lupad ba imong mga kamot, wa diri wa dito, na-distract na yung audience, facial expression, so kuan ra kay ka, stoic ra kay ka, or poker face ra kay ka, no? Then eye contact, so dili ka um, make og eye contact or establish og eye contact sa imong audience. Okay, what are some distracting speaker behaviors? Rapid speech. O paka-paka ka din ha. Monotone. No, sara imong voice, ang tone sa imong voice. Mumbling, garumble, gamumble ra ka. Awkward pauses. Hands in pockets. Ngaut ba ka din ha sa imong kuan? Sumayra ka butang sa imong kamot sa imong pockets. Playing with hair. Kita na mo nga nag-speak nga nagsige pod og play sa hair. Looking at floor or ceiling. Tense, rigid, sloppy posture, swaying, imo kagasayaw ga speech, dancing, leaning on podium, weight shifts, and crossing legs. Okay, so mo na makapa-distract na siya ng mga behavior. How are you going to polish your delivery? Okay, pinaka-primero, practice, practice, practice. Learn your speech. Start learning small pieces first, then practice the entire speech. Practice in the room in which you will speak. Practice alone, then with people. Focus on what you're saying and to whom. Then be yourself. Okay. What are your strengths and weaknesses as a speaker? What are you hoping to improve upon? So, I'd like you to reflect on these questions. No? So, para kamo mismo kaybaw na mo sa inyong strengths and sa inyong weakness as a speaker, because I tell you, moabot gid ang time na maka-speak mo in public. Okay. So, we have C's of public speaking. This is another way to remember all these principles and guidelines. That is to take note of the C's of public speaking. Number 1C, content. Okay, so what to say. Context. What is the occasion? What is the purpose? Who are your audience? Then confidence and conviction. Concentration and practice. Code, so meaning the verbal language that we use. Clothing and grooming, so again, no matter ang atong physical appearance. And choreography, so meaning our gestures, non-verbal gestures, facial expressions, and our body movements. So those are the C's of public speaking. Again, content, context, confidence and conviction, concentration and practice, code, clothing and grooming, and choreography. Okay, Andre Blugan class established these 7 deadly sins of public speaking. Okay, first, sloth. That is failing to prepare for your speech or presentation. So, sala na siya if you fail to prepare. Then, envy. Believing that great speakers are born with their skills. So, public speaking is a skill. It can be learned. Lust. Quelling your nerves by picturing the audience naked. Grabe na po nangyayari. No. Gluttony, believing that more words, slides, and her facts or numbers is always better. Greed, okay, that is speaking over your allotted time. Wrath, rigidly reacting to problems and losing your cool. Pride, placing yourself ahead of the audience. Okay, so believe it. Now you're ready to deliver that very important and most awaited speech that you have been preparing. You are now ready to face the audience that you have been visualizing. And you are now ready to be a great speaker who will transcend your fears and limitations. Okay, believe it. Yes, you can do it. And good luck for your speaking engagement class. Enjoy speaking.